Welcome to your Around the Peninsula. I'm Senior Airman Devin Notstein. Batter up! Over 40 softball teams from across the Pacific gathered together at USAG Yongsan to see how many balls they could put over the fence.
For the last 19 years, USAG Yongsan has been host to the Pacific-wide softball tournament. But before the tournament begins, the teams and communities have a chance to come together for a little warm-up fun, the Home Run Derby.
From a community standpoint, you'll see dogs, you'll see kids, you'll see family members, you'll see people just walking down the street, wondering what all the commotion's about.
You can't tell from a glance, but the players are from not only the Pacific region, but all over the world. Distances aside, this long-standing tradition is not a tournament amongst strangers.
I expected it to be like a big old family reunion. I've been in the military for 20 years now and been playing softball for about as long as I've been in. A lot of these guys I've played at different bases with and have enjoyed the game.
Hey, when you retire, you can grow up and get this too, huh, kids?
A lot of these guys, they pencil this event into their personal calendar. I mean, this is not just about softball. I mean, this is about friendships. This is about having a good time. This is about competition. The morale factor is, you can't put a price on that. And this is one of those events that does put our garrison here, USAG Yongsan, on the map, just in terms of visibility and what we can offer here with our facilities and obviously the city. I mean, come on, it's Korea, it's Seoul, you know what I mean? It's a hot spot. Who wouldn't want to have the TDY over here for a little bit?
You got to keep these kind of things going because you got all these young airmen, soldiers, sailors, Marines. This is what keeps the camaraderie going between all the branches of service. As long as we keep getting the younger kids and build them up, they'll keep coming out here for years to come. And that's pretty much left up to the older guys like myself.
Army Sergeant Derrick Ramey. Yongsan, Korea.
The American Legion and the Lady Guzzlers came out on top after the 3-day Pacific-wide tournament following the Home Run Derby. Memorial Day has always been to remember the fallen service members who gave the ultimate sacrifice. Army Staff Sergeant Jacob Braman brings us to another ceremony that shares this symbolism.
The official party arrives and the color guard is on point for the wreath-laying ceremony on the United States naval ship Red Cloud in Busan. The brief ceremony was for a small group of U.S. Merchant Marines and U.S. Naval Forces and a somber way to start off National Maritime Day.
Well, I think the Navy and all of our sailors fully recognize that we serve at sea just like the men and women of the United States Merchant Marine, and that we all face the harsh, cruel and dangerous conditions of the sea sometimes, but we all do our best to achieve our mission.
The strong words of praise and respect for all those who have served at sea over the years, especially those who gave all for their country and fellow servicemen and women, set the right tone for the laying of the wreath, a wreath that will eventually remain at sea.
In particular today, we remember those that lost their lives at sea, either in peace or during war in service to their country.
Army Staff Sergeant Jacob Braman, Busan, Korea.
Merchant mariners played a pivotal role during the beginning of the Korean War, where they helped evacuate 14,000 women and children from Hungnam to Busan. Interested in becoming a chef? Thinking about taking a cooking class? Army Sergeant Alexandria Corniero tells us how one airman made that desire possible for troops.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. All right, I think everybody knows, well, not everybody. I'm Chaplain Jones, and I'm going to teach you how to make the best pound cake that you have ever had. Now, for example, eggs.
Everyone knows short tours are hard, and one of the things we miss from home is the food, which is why Chaplain Jones is serving up a slice of home by offering troops cooking classes. This class featured the always delicious pound cake.
I guess I saw it as an opportunity. Some people, they do guitar classes, piano classes. My part that I can contribute is teaching, passing on the recipes that I have. For me, baking is very therapeutic. Being away from family, it gives me an opportunity to bake and come up with some new recipes as well. I put love in my pound cake. My pound cake, I have to feel it. When I feel it, it's right. When it's right, it's right. And so One, that's what makes my pound cake special, and my ingredients, and my systematic approach on when I put them in and how I put them in. Because a lot of stuff I don't measure, I feel it. I feel it in my spirit. And when I get that spirit, that it's right, it's ready. Because I connect with that cake. For me, it's just not just, just one of those things where you just put stuff in. I feel it, I connect with that cake, and the cake sounds ready. Oh man, I just love to see the smiles on people's faces. It's like, it's just joy, to see what it brings to people, to see people baking, and then when they cut it, and it's just, it really happened. It's just, just a good feeling. Oh my goodness.
I'm Sergeant Alexandria Corniero, Kunsan Air Base, Korea.
I want to taste everybody's cake.
This is one of many cooking classes offered to troops on Kunsan Air Base. Commissioned officers are entrusted with the well-being and professional development of the soldiers under their command. But how does one become a commissioned officer? Army Private Joe Aleman tells us about a private first class who is beginning this journey.
Chasing your dream is a journey, and every journey has a first step.
I wanted to be a soldier ever since I was a little boy. It's just something that made soldiers look so much greater than all the other occupations. It was like a dream come true to be able to enlist and now to be able to go into West Point as a commissioned officer.
Being commissioned to West Point is not an overnight process and can take months to be accepted.
I was commissioned into West Point on 8th of March during CQ, and it was an arduous process. I started back in September and I was able to finish in February.
PFC Seo was born in Korea at a young age and moved to America where he grew up in California.
One of the things that I had to do was become naturalized through the MAVNI program, which allows visa holders to enlist and become a citizen, which is also a requirement for West Point. You have to be under 23, you can't be married or have any kids, and you have to be a U.S. citizen to be able to apply to West Point.
West Point receives only a small amount of soldiers every year, and even a smaller amount come out commissioned officers.
Around 9% of everybody who applies to West Point will be getting in at the end of June of every year. That's about 1,300 people every year that goes into West Point, but only about 900 to 1,000 will be graduating because, again, it is a military environment and not everybody's fit for that.
Army Private Joe Aleman, Camp Casey, Korea.
PFC Seo begins his journey to becoming a commissioned officer at the end of June. In a time when everyone is looking out for number one, Army Sergeant Ryan Sharp introduces us to one soldier who is out to help others.
Overseeing the correct handling and disposal of hazardous materials in a motor pool is not a simple mission. For Specialist Daniel Johnson, a petroleum supply specialist, it's one he takes pride in.
I do, because it is a tough job at times, but I think those are the most rewarding jobs. If it was easy and you accomplish a task, you probably wouldn't feel too much.
When his co-workers are punching out and going home, Johnson puts on a different uniform for a change of pace, helping others.
I view my experience as an asset.
Johnson has developed an extensive workout routine to motivate other soldiers who struggle to improve their level of physical fitness. He also works with those that are battling with weight by showing them a more nutritious way of eating.
I've lost like 3 inches on my waist. Just really tracking what I'm eating has really helped me. So, I mean, I was a chunkier guy, so, I mean, I'm definitely happy I've lost some weight.
While stationed at Fort Riley, Kansas, Johnson was able to help over 300 people. And now, while serving in Korea, he continues his mission supporting others. The only question most have to ask is why help others to this extent?
I don't ask them for anything. Because I think if you do these things to help out other people and you do them genuinely, you are contributing to the world being a better place. That is really why I do what I do.
Army Sergeant Ryan Sharp, Yongsan, Korea.
You want extra credit, good job.
Specialist Johnson also consults with his local hospital's nutritionist to better help his fellow soldiers. That was your Around the Peninsula for Thursday, June 11th. From all of us at AFN, enjoy your evening.